Now keep in mind that everything we've done up to this point affects only the track that we are playing with. For example, grand piano has its own track volume, track pan, as does jazz upright bass. So each one of those affects only that one individual track. Now, let's talk about doing something for the entire work. Let's go to track, and let's go to where it says Show Master Track. Now, the master track, which appears at the bottom of the screen, has three built-in parameters. It has master volume, master pitch, and master tempo. And any change that you make here will affect all of the tracks that you do. So we'll start with master volume, and it's the same thing. If you click the little square, this line will pop up, and you can change the volume of different parts to fade it in, fade it out, different parts of your song. Like this. It fades out, now it's set, come back in, and there it is. The next one in the list is master pitch. And it changes everything by 1/2 step, wherever you want to move it. So, for example, let us say at measure 5, which is right here, we want to change our key to up 1/2 step. Let's see what that sounds like. You're going to hear it change key when we get to the second half of this verse. Pretty cool, huh? And the next one is master tempo. This, of course, changes the tempo of the whole track. Let's try something just for the heck of it here. If you look over here, we'll see it'll show that it's at 120. I want to change it, this one bar right here, to half tempo, which means we want it to go down to 60 beats per minute. It's a little hard to nail it in right there on the spot, but 61 is close enough. And then let's put the last bar back where we started. Put it back at 120. Well, maybe 121. That, once again, is as close as we're going to get it, I think. And you'll see an interesting little change here. It's going to slow the next to the last measure down to halftime, and then the last measure will be back in time again. Interesting effect, and you can do that anywhere, anytime, any place, to any song that you do. The last option in the master track is add automation, and it's going to give us the same options pretty much that we had in the individual tracks. A little bit different, but they do basically the same thing. Various effects such as echo, reverb, and EQ. And you can put those on the track anywhere that you want to, any way that you want to. And once again, I'm not going to get into each one of those. Please watch the videos that are posted on the lesson, and they will tell you exactly what each of those effects does. So now we've finished editing our song. We've done everything we can do to it. Now it's time to finish it and publish it. Now the very first thing that we want to do is check all of our audio outputs and make sure that we haven't clipped anywhere. Now, what exactly is clipping? If you look on the notepad, clipping is a form of waveform distortion that occurs when an amplifier is overdriven and attempts to deliver an output voltage or current beyond its maximum capability. In the case of what we're doing, if you look down here at the bottom, you'll see the master output, volume output. That's the fader right there, the master volume. And then you'll see the meters and the little red, well, they're not red right now, but they would be if they were clipping, the little red dots at the end. The same thing is true on each track. And if you play your master recording back and you see any of these red dots come on, then you're clipping. And then you need to find out where that might be, so you go back and watch each track individually. And if one of these clips, then you've got too much volume at that particular point, and you can back it off either using the master volume for that track or by using the volume on the automation track. So once you're sure that your song is not clipping anywhere, it's time to publish it and make it so someone else can hear it. How do we do that? We go to Share. There are several options here. Send song to iTunes. Now that sends it to your iTunes on your own computer, and then you can upload it if you want to. It's not a ringtone and it's not a podcast, so we're not going to even look at those right at this moment. The bottom one says burn song to CD. That's pretty obvious. It will put it on a CD for you. Export song to disk is the one that we're going to use right now. We have several options of what to do with our song. We can compress it or not. If we unclick compress so that it's not compressed, it's going to be sent out at full size, and it's certainly going to be the best quality that you can do. And if you need that, then this is the way to go about doing it. It's going to come out as a WAV file, .wav, W-A-V, and it's going to be several megabytes in size, and it's not something you're going to be able to transfer readily over the internet. But if you need something that's the way it was, perfect when you wrote it, then that's the way to go. Now, other options are MP3, and MP3, of course, is a compressed format that's been around since the late 80s. Everybody knows what an MP3 is, and there's several versions of that. There's high quality, higher quality, good quality, or custom quality. I recommend that you try each and every one of them and see if you can tell the difference one from the other. My guess is that you can. The next generation after MP3s was MP4s, and AAC is a version of that. That stands for Advanced Audio Codec. And you can once again hear in different qualities. This is what iTunes uses. Anyway, we are going to use AAC medium quality just because it's not as big and it will work faster. Then we hit export and it asks us where we want to do it. Let's just call it Unit 4 example. That's fine the way it is. M4A, which is a version of MP4. The A stands for Advanced Audio Codec. And it's going to put it on our desktop. So we'll do this. It's going to take it just a second. Creating, it's mixed down, it's converting. Okay, well, that was pretty quick, but of course this is only a 8-bar song too. So, Unit 4 example, M4A. Let's go ahead and open that. It's going to open in iTunes, so iTunes takes a second to open. There it is. So there it is. That's the whole thing. Now, we could have played that in any music player that we wanted to. We did not have to play it in iTunes, but that's just the default on a Mac. It opens in iTunes, so that's the way it came out. Anyway, that ends our GarageBand lessons and how to make a song, record a song, edit a song. We'll get next into podcasts and ringtones.